So let me start with my first example using Studio Paint. Now, one of the first things I noticed when I went into an automotive design studio is that the designers used things like these, automotive sweeps, in their drawing process. Obviously, these things just help you draw curves along a specific trajectory. Now, all of us have seen such things in high school when we were taking math. The most common example would be something like a French curve, such as this one I have in my hand. Now, what we've tried to do is capture the skill that people have developed using such tools and let them apply those skills in working with the software. Now, if you look at the screen, what you'll see is that Thomas is holding a puck in his left hand on the tablet, and attached to the puck is the sweep, and so he can reposition the sweep that way. And in the other hand, he has a stylus, which he can either use to draw, or he can use to also hold the sweep so that he can change the orientation by doing a gesture much like this. And also, unlike with plastic, he can stretch the sweep to scale it to different sizes. So with these types of manipulations, he can lay the sweep down over top of the underlying geometry, in this case the automotive body, and then lay down curves that snap to the edge of the sweep in the desired fashion, and with a great deal of flexibility. Now, you can do other things with these sweeps. You can, for example, use them with an airbrush to help you dodge and lay down in the sense if you would a frisket. You can also turn them inside out, so you can turn a positive sweep into a negative sweep, and therefore you have like a stencil. Now, the net effect of this is that you can get some airbrush effects that have never been possible before without huge amounts of effort. That is, a very hard edge along the side of the sweep with a feathering out on the outside. And you'll notice that maybe for the first time you've got an airbrush that's implemented by somebody who's seen an airbrush, much less used one, in the sense that you can hold a frisket or a mask or stencil in the non-dominant hand, move it around while you're airbrushing, while having complete freedom with the dominant hand to drive your airbrush. Now, these sweeps can be saved and also retrieved in your shelf, for example, so we can pull up other sweeps. And so what Thomas is pulling up now is a sweep that does with ovals and ellipses. Now, what's interesting about this particular tool is that if you consider these 4 sheets, all of the capability of these sheets is encapsulated in that single tool that he has in his hand because of the capability of both stretching it and changing its orientation and scaling it. So that you have the benefits of the old techniques, but you also aren't constrained by the physical materials. You can start to do new things in an old way and apply your old skills. Now, sweeps are simply geometry. And this geometry can come from any of the curves that you might draw. So now what Thomas is doing is simply sketching around the upper part of the car body, a curve, and then through a few gestures using marking menus, he can turn this curve that he's defined into a sweep so that he can have, for example, drop shadows or something that conform to the basic template or shape of the vehicle.